Okay, as I've reported in a blog post in 1993, Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act had a provision in it concerning federal student loan debt and a possibility of requiring people for up to 25 years of obligation via associations with 91-day treasury notes. There were different terms outlined concerning information connected with defaults for loans acquired in 1995 as well as 1996. Those are the only 2 years specified. If it was already known in 1993, which I believe absolutely positively has been proven throughout at least the last 2 years, that it was possible to require somebody for up to 25 years of service for the federal budget via intercession with different appropriations and reprogramming of appropriations. Why, up until this time, has that been completely and intentionally obscured and instead lied about? See, I have an understanding now there's some elite group that thinks that they were entitled to traffic a bunch of people in order to cover their asses when they engaged in gambling on their lives without telling those people, and now are trying to do what they can to take other people's work and patch some sort of hedge of protection in order to prevent them from being prosecuted for their criminal culpability in serious, serious crimes. But if I roll it back and just try to be, forthright about this, I went to the University of Chicago. I was accepted early admission. And they have a very notorious school of economics that, among other things, was charged with interfering in the national economy of another country, specifically regarding economic engineering of their pension system. This was around the time that the charges about that were coming to bear, was around the time I've now discovered that the Congress of the United States was implementing a long-term reform of the military pension system, and those who knew the military pension system said in a report to Congress that it was concerning that they had really only planned for or accounted for a certain amount of time based upon the outlays that they put into effect at the time, which left 5 years at least at the end of that term where there was no acknowledgement of how they expected to meet the obligation they had set up. This was done around the time that there started to appear allegations concerning the Iran Contra affair. Now, that was more than 10 years before I was even on the stage, right? But it seems like those obligations included considerations of people like me. I have more than met my obligations. The problem is, apparently, what I had the capacity to do based upon what was leveraged as being a catastrophe that could cover up for criminals has not been appropriately paired. There's a lot of catastrophe that's not being appropriately identified and addressed in the manner it deserves. I'm really hoping you reconsider and correct for the error on the record for at least the last 25 years since I've been an adult. And once you do that, perhaps together we can address the fact that already I have covered two obligations that somebody that was already an adult and is still in a position where they expect to get acknowledged for their fine accomplishments did not cover.